Yes, my name is Baudewijn and I work in the Welsh European Funding Office with Carl James. Carl's job is to manage the €100 million of funding for marine devices that you heard about earlier. I'd like to take this presentation a little wider because many of you will have heard about that already, and I'll mention some of the other funding sources that may not be worth as much in terms of funding, but perhaps could perform important stepping stones in your journeys. This slide attempts to, the guiding principle is really that there are different funds available for different stages in a business's journey. It may not be a linear progression from, say, innovation vouchers up to Horizon 2020 collaborative funding, but in the Welsh Government and with our partners, we're very happy to have conversations about your needs and to try and find the funding solutions that are right for you. I'd like to start by talking about the main area of funding that we manage in the Welsh European Funding Office for this type of technology. But I'll also talk about some of the other regional funding, and then I'll move on to a European collaborative funding for international collaborations, and I'll finish with Horizon 2020, which is the European Union's largest research and innovation programme, worth around €77 billion over 7 years. The funding from the European Regional Development Funds that we manage in WEFO has a specific allocation for the testing of wave and tidal devices on the Welsh coast. And the budget is, as you see, over €100 million. And we are well underway with developing and approving the projects in that. For example, Deep Green is one that has been approved along with WaveSub, and we have the 2 demonstration zones have projects with us at the moment. And another device is in development, the Ocean Wave Rower. But we do welcome more applications, and if you're interested, I'd be very happy to put you on to my colleagues in the energy team. The Regional Development Fund also has another strand, which is for the research and innovation projects. Now, there are 2 types here. One is the university project that could support businesses by making the Welsh expertise in marine science available, and the other is the type of project for business innovation that's run by my colleagues in the Welsh Government. The 2 projects that I think are quite relevant in this field are Flexis, which is an energy systems project that is it's in development but very close to approval. We should hear an announcement on that very soon. Run by Cardiff University and looking at the systems approach to energy and also energy storage. The other is CCAMS, which you may be aware of from the previous funding round, and this is in development, looking at making the Welsh marine expertise in the universities available for businesses and encouraging collaboration. I'd like to talk about the 3 Welsh Government schemes in the Business Innovation team. The first is the Smart Innovation Project, which funds innovation advisors who can have one-to-one discussions with businesses about their innovation needs and have access to contracts for new product development, intellectual property, design, and also some of the other grants in the SMART package. These include the innovation vouchers and SMART project funding. They also have close links with Welsh universities and are able to fund smaller interactions with universities on industrial-led research and in the Smart Expertise project. The next section of the presentation is about the European Territorial Cooperation Programmes. Their aim is to foster collaboration across borders between different countries, and a lot of them have either a marine focus or a research and innovation focus, or both. The first is the Ireland-Wales programme, which we manage in the Welsh Government at the moment, covering the west of Wales and Wrexham and Flintshire, so quite a wide area of Wales, and southern and eastern Ireland. And naturally, the sea is the shared border, the shared resource, and we welcome projects that aim to develop this in collaboration across in the Irish Republic and Wales. The other area that is particularly of interest to marine energy is the Atlantic programme, which, as you can see, covers the Atlantic seaboard of Europe from Scotland down to Cádiz in Spain. And we have seen European energy projects in this programme already, and hopefully we'll see more continuing. I'll skip through to a couple of other programs that may not have a direct marine focus, but also include innovation and may be of interest if you were looking to collaborate with countries, say, in Western Germany or Southern Netherlands and Northern France. The final program in this package is the Interreg Europe program, which is open to all countries in the European Union and Norway and Switzerland. Finally, I'd like to talk about Horizon 2020. I can make these slides available later because the text might be a little small there. But essentially, there are three different types, or a few different types of projects that Horizon 2020 funds. The main projects are the collaborative projects that involve three partners from three different countries. The funding rates are relatively high at 70% if the project is close to market, or 100% otherwise. And this is free of competition law state aid rules because it's administered by the European Commission centrally. These collaborative calls are quite specific, and I'll mention a few of them a bit later. The Eurostars scheme is for smaller amounts of funding, and it's a call that closes twice a year. We've got a seminar on this on Thursday in Cardiff Bay at 2 o'clock in the Futures Inn, where you're welcome to come and listen more about that particular funding stream. The SME instrument is also important to mention in Horizon 2020. It's quite a wide scope, but it's very competitive. It's got two sections. One is for feasibility studies, and one is for innovation projects of up to 2.5 million euros. But don't be misled by the term feasibility study. This is for technology readiness level 6+, so it's for demonstrated technologies that are looking to go to market, and very competitive, so it's very important to focus on what the Commission wants. I can talk a bit more about that separately. Finally, the fast track to innovation, a bit like the SME instrument, but focusing on collaborative projects led by industry. Also very competitive and due to come to an end this year. There are lots of resources out there, and I can help to point you towards these. One that I'd like to mention is the EASME site in the top right corner there, the European Agency for SMEs, that has some good tips on applying for the SME instrument. So in relation to marine energy, I've mentioned the SME instrument there. I think the other call I'd like to mention is LCE7 there for development of advanced ocean energy subsystems, power takeoff systems and control strategies. It's important to read the calls very carefully for these because they're looking for technology readiness levels 4 and 5, which is taking projects from proof of concept into demonstration. And the budget appears large, but when split up between the different sections, it's not that large. Looking for projects of 2 to 5 million euros each. The other I'd like to mention is LC15, scaling up of the ocean energy sector to arrays. This is looking for projects of 10 to 15 million euros, and you'll notice the budget is only 15 million euros, so you can imagine that'll be competitive. But they are looking for very specific projects, and I don't imagine there are too many of them around. They're looking for technology that has been demonstrated in real conditions and connected to grid, and taking that to technology readiness level 7. The other specifically ocean energy related call is 16 there for design tools for ocean energy devices, and that is also fairly early stage development of these devices up to technology readiness level 6, so well into demonstration. The funding there is only 7 billion, and they expect a project to be 5 to 7 million euros. So again, it'll be competitive. It's worth looking at some other funding sources as well. I won't go through these in detail, but there are other bits of Horizon 2020. In particular, there's there is an energy infrastructure project which is about using or pooling research infrastructure across Europe to test ocean energy systems. I haven't put it up because it closes at the end of March, but hopefully there will be a bid going through there. It may not be too late to try and contact partners. We have seen other projects in that area. Then the innovative loan finance through banks, that is available through backing of the European Investment Bank. And in the UK, I think Barclays and Santander have that guarantee scheme in place. So they're able to offer loans under that. The situation may have changed, but those were the two that were available when I looked. Past projects, it's quite useful to look at past projects to see what type of things are sought. And we see a number of well-known names in the industry. Deep Green, Wave Hub, Scotch Renewables, Wavestar in Denmark, Nova Innovation, WAVEC in Portugal, and Tecnalia in the Basque Country are some of the names I spotted. So it's very much worth considering. Finally, I'd like to mention two UK schemes. The Energy Catalyst is for, there's a briefing on the 6th of April on this, and this is, they're looking for projects that address the energy trilemma, and there are different levels of funding for different types of project, from feasibility to validation. The Energy Game Changer is for feasibility studies for new entrants to the energy market. So companies that aren't all existing energy sector companies. I won't run through these in detail, thinking about time, but I think the messages fall into two categories. One is read the question. As we all probably remember from our school days, you have to answer all the aspects that are sought. And the second is the impact. You really need to be able to show how the project is going to deliver the change that is sought and have a plan to do that, involving the people that will be delivering that. I'd like to mention that we have a Horizon 2020 unit in the Welsh Government which can help you if you're interested in this funding, and we link into the European National Contact Point network as well. We also have funding available for travel and for externally contracted expertise. If you are interested in applying to Horizon 2020, you're welcome to take advantage of that if you want to get some help to apply. Well, thank you very much.